One day, a sect or cult was performing a special ritual. The ritual will sacrifice Urabe Yukito and be submerged in the sea for 3 days. Yukito's father is the leader of this sect. He believes that Yukito can transcend the destiny of death and rise again to become the next leader of the sect. Yukito was locked in a barrel with only his head left above. He rebelled because this was like killing a child. But Yukito's father doesn't care and will continue with the sect's rituals. This sect has faith in God Mitama, the best god who knows everything in this universe. Yukito's father believes that Yukito will be fine, because a special amulet necklace has been with Yukito for a long time. After praying to God Mitama, the sect immediately throws Yukito's barrel into the sea. Then Yukito suddenly saw a flashback to when he was a teenager. He had always been bound by the rules of his father's sect. This makes many people uncomfortable around him. Yukito has always been in trouble his whole life. He also thought that his father's sect was heretical. Yukito has no hope for the future anymore, and his eyes are blank due to his father's sect. He also suffered from constant bad luck to the point where he no longer believed in the power and existence of gods. Yukito also tries to amuse himself by masturbating while watching anime. But unfortunately, that method didn't work because Yukito was fed up with his own life. Yukito wishes that he can be reborn in a world where there are no gods or religions. That way, Yukito can live his life normally, not like in this world. Then suddenly, Yukito wakes up near a river with a beautiful girl holding Yukito's Mr. P. The beautiful girl apologized to Yukito. She is learning how to give pleasure to men. Her name is Aru. Aru works at a village restaurant there, and she gives Yukito a place to stay at the restaurant. Aru wanted to take good care of Yukito from now on. Yukito still has several wounds around his body. After Yukito ate the food served by Aru, Yukito realized that he was reincarnated into another world. Stories and light novels that have been trending for years. Yukito already had some knowledge about fantasy worlds like this. Because of that, Yukito asked Aru about the Adventurers Guild. Aru was confused by the meaning of Yukito's words. There is no Adventurers Guild in this village. Then Yukito explained that the Adventurers Guild was a place for adventurers to work or find job information. After hearing that, Aru just understood Yukito's meaning, and she would accompany him to a place where Yukito could work for this village. Aru was grateful Yukito returned to health after collapsing in the river earlier. Aru follows the porn book's instructions so Yukito can feel pleasure again and again. In Yukito's mind, he was very happy because he could be reincarnated into another world. He hoped that his adventures in this world could be as enjoyable as the stories in light novels. But when Yukito registered for a job, the reality he got was like this. Not long after, a man named Roy arrives because he hears the news that Yukito was rescued by Aru. Roy says that all the women in this village belong to him, so he advises Yukito to stay away from Aru. Then a man named Clen calmed Roy down. He told Roy not to make trouble anymore. Clen enlists Yukito's help using a dagger to cut something. Of course, Yukito was happy that he could finally get a job as an adventurer. But again, the reality was not as Yukito expected.
序盤に退屈なクエストをやらせてプレイヤーを試すタイプ。なるほど、こういうパターンか。この時期は収穫するのに人手が足りなくてな。助かるよ。
After Yukito and his two friends finished harvesting grapes, they were confused about how to store these grapes. There was too much to keep in the cellar, and Clen suggested throwing some grapes away. But Yukito forbids Clen from doing that because he will produce this grape into wine. 1 month later, all the villagers are very happy after enjoying the wine that Yukito made. Roy said that Yukito was a great man. He could make wine using the village's harvested grapes. This wine should be very expensive if they buy it in the capital. Roy becomes attracted to Yukito, and he allows Yukito to approach the girls in this village. Shiru, Aru's older sister, was very happy with Yukito's arrival, and she always drank wine non-stop with the men in this village. Yukito didn't expect that his otherworldly life was so different from the story in light novels. His only jobs are farming, making wine, and living for free at the restaurant managed by Aru and Shiru.
俺の剣と魔法の異世界生活はどこ行った？
じゃあお酒飲んでないで手伝ってよ。さあガンガン行くわよ。
A few days later, Yukito saw the residents running because a wild monster was there. Roy said he would do something after reading the guidebook he brought. But apparently, Roy told Yukito to run together to avoid the beast's attack. After successfully escaping, Yukito thought that Roy could use magic using the book. Yukito was also surprised. Why didn't Roy attack the beast with a weapon? Then Roy explained that a beast like that was impossible to beat. In the book he brought, it was also written that anyone should run away immediately if they encounter monsters. After the situation was safe, Yukito and Roy went to Aru's restaurant to treat their wounds. In Yukito's mind, he just found out that there is no concept of magic in this world. Even wound healing still uses traditional medicine. Then Yukito went back to having fun with Shiru and the others there. Even though the system of this world is different from the usual stories, Yukito still enjoys his life because many people want to be friends with him. A few days or weeks later, Aru thanked Yukito for making a positive difference in the village. Then Aru asked Yukito to stay in this village forever. Even if Yukito wanted to, he could stay at Aru's restaurant. Aru asked this while blushing because she secretly loved Yukito. After hearing that, Yukito accepted Aru's offer because he was comfortable living in this village. Yukito also wanted to thank God for reincarnating him into this world. But suddenly, Aru asked something strange to Yukito. The next day, Yukito was walking around the village farm. Yukito didn't expect his wish to come true before dying in the previous world. If Yukito died in this world, he couldn't possibly live again because there was no magic. In fact, there is no religion or belief in this world. Then Yukito found a rabbit monster there and was going to bury it. Shortly after, Roy and Aru found Yukito there. Aru was worried about Yukito because he wasn't in the room this morning. Then Roy wants to take Yukito to a place where there are many forbidden books. The book is very dangerous and completely secret. Of course, Yukito hoped there would be mysterious stories or plot developments. But it turns out that the forbidden book Roy meant was something like this. Then Roy, Yukito, and Aru immediately went to the capital to see the porn book they meant. The village that Yukito lives in is named Kakuri Village. Kakuri Village was a small place on the empire's outskirts. All power in this world is centered in the imperial court. Human life has been taught by the imperial majesty. Then Roy also warned Yukito not to talk to people in the capital. Kakuri Village is a place that is not liked by everyone for some reason. Roy suddenly interrupted the conversation because they had arrived at the porn bookstore. Of course, Aru and Roy were excited to buy porn books there. Even Aru wanted to immediately try the new poses explained in the porn book. But the pictures in the book are just small children's scribbles and messy writing. Yukito assumed that this was calligraphy that was usually written in art books, so this porn book deserves to be displayed in a museum. Of course, Roy and Aru were shocked after hearing Yukito's words. They didn't expect that a foreigner like Yukito was already living in such a highly developed country. After they bought porn books, Yukito saw that knights and citizens gathered in the city center. Yukito was curious and tried to join the crowd of residents there. Several citizens kneeled there, guarded by knights. Then the kneeling residents drank a potion and suddenly fell there. The knights confirmed that these few citizens had managed to die smoothly. Of course, Yukito was very shocked after seeing this incident. Aru immediately took Yukito away from there while explaining something. In this country, there is a system called end of life or life termination, regulations that require taking one's own life by order of the state. Of course, Yukito didn't believe there was such a rule. If that's the case, everyone in Kakuri Village will also die by order of the Imperial. Then Roy said that Kakuri Village was a place that was treated differently, so Yukito didn't have to worry about this system. When they were about to return to the village, Aru was shocked after seeing the name on the life termination system board. Then all the residents there started mocking, insulting, and berating Aru, Roy, and Yukito. Kakuri Village must be destroyed immediately. At midnight, Aru sneaks into Yukito's room and bed as usual. Aru wants to practice BDSM like in the porn book she bought earlier. The book states that a man must feel pleasure if his body is bound while being given masturbation services by the girl. Of course, Yukito blushed because Aru was too direct and had misunderstood the explanation of the porn book. Aru, who had already reached her climax level of lust, ignored Yukito's words and immediately took off his clothes. Yukito feels an extraordinary sensation of pleasure from Aru. but Yukito holds his lust and tells Aru to stay conscious. After some time has passed, Aru apologizes again because the explanations in the porn book she bought are really very detailed and crazy. Then Yukito wants Aru to tell him about Kakuri Village in the imperial capital. Aru tells Yukito that Kakuri Village is a place where outcasts gather. Then Aru shows a mark on her back to Yukito. Everyone afraid of the life termination system must have had that mark. Because of that, the imperial capital and the residents always hate people from Kakuri Village. Aru knows that Yukito doesn't have that mark. She was glad that Yukito didn't act like them. Because of this, Aru and the residents of Kakuri Village concluded that Yukito came from a foreign country. Only Yukito is the only person who can appreciate Kakuri Village. Even Yukito is willing to work and teach Aru and the villagers some new things. After hearing that, Yukito finally understood the situation in this village. Yukito also used to be disliked by people, so he understands how Aru and the others feel. For him, Aru and everyone in Kakuri Village is his first friends. Then Aru saw the necklace that Yukito had always carried since he fainted in the river at that time. Aru thought that the stone necklace was very beautiful in the moonlight. Suddenly, Yukito puts his necklace on Aru. Aru is allowed to have it because the necklace is cheap. Aru is very happy because she got a necklace from the man she loves. She was even happy because she could touch and play with Yukito's body to her heart's content. Yukito and Aru both blushed, and Yukito told Aru to go to sleep immediately. Aru obeyed Yukito's words and was about to return to her room.
あなたに会えてよかった。
On the other hand, Roy, Shiru, and Klen didn't sleep tonight. Shiru was very surprised after hearing Aru's story about the signboard in the capital. Shiru hopes that she can save Aru no matter what. Shiru knows that Aru loves Yukito very much. But unfortunately, the rules of this country must still be implemented and cannot be refused. Then Roy worked up the courage to forbid the knights who would bring Aru and Shiru tomorrow. The next day, Yukito is surprised because the restaurant is closed today. Then he found Roy outside the restaurant, who was seriously injured from being beaten by the knights. Roy said Aru and Shiru were taken to the capital to implement the life termination system. Roy tells Yukito that Kakuri Village is a dumping ground for people who don't comply with the system. The Empire considered people in Kakuri Village to be strange. They also always force every citizen in Kakuri Village to carry out a life termination system. To be more precise, the Empire killed everyone who disobeyed this system. Today is the day Aru and Shiru do that, and Roy can't save them. Of course, Yukito is mad at Roy because he didn't say anything about Aru and Shiru before. Then Yukito will go to the capital city to save them, accompanied by Klen's horse carriage. In the capital, the citizens witness the execution of the Empire today. Shiru has been killed, and Aru will soon be slashed with a sword. Not long after, Yukito and Klen arrive there.
なんでこいつらが死ななきゃならない。
ユキトさん。
貴様、何者だ。
Then a knight named Bertrand said the people executed today were afraid of death. In Yukito's mind, the people of this world no longer have common sense. They have no feelings and are like being brainwashed by the Empire. Then Bertrand said that killing the citizens from Kakuri Village was a form of mercy from the Imperial Majesty. Bertrand immediately stabs Yukito and kills Aru there. When Yukito entered a dying state, he remembered his father's words that God Mitama could save him. Then Yukito wants to save Aru, Shiru, and other people afraid of death. The kindness of the people in the Kakuri village made Yukito want to save them. Death is not a fate that must be carried out by humans alone. The actions of everyone in this world are unforgivable. Then Yukito challenges the god Mitama. If the existence of the god of his sect is the truth, Yukito wants the god Mitama to demonstrate her power to save them.
僕がいない間に誰がこんなこと。
ベルトラン様、これは。
恐怖に沈め。やっと呼んでくれた。やっぱりユキトは僕がいないとダメなんだから。あれ、生きてる。 僕は御霊、君の神様だ